Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here from QBKing77.com, here with the X made by OnePlus. And this device is $249 unlocked. However, you will need an invite to actually purchase the device. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and open it up and give some first impressions on the device. Alright, so you'll notice a very subtle X on the front, OnePlus up the top, OnePlus X on the side. Now let's go ahead and grab this knife and peel off the plastic for you guys. And here we go. So let's open it on up, slide the box open. There's a little bit of texture to the box. And here it is, OnePlus X. Never settle, so it's kind of secure in the packaging right here. So pull it out, OnePlus X. Let's go ahead and peel this guy off as much as you guys like that. And then on the back, there's another little sticker. And this is a little bit of a smaller form factor. I believe a 5.2-inch display, which is always nice to see for, I know a lot of people complain about phones getting bigger and bigger, and they don't really want that. But anyways, I'm going to turn the device on. So press and hold the power button. Battery is embedded. Let that turn on the side, and I'm going to show you what else is in the box. So open this up. OnePlus always does a pretty good job with packaging. I'm going to be honest about that. And pull this out. And you have a SIM ejection tool right there. And then you have a case, which is really nice to have. I'm going to throw that on the device. And we're going to actually see how well it fits. So it's all in. Let's check out those cutouts. Pretty good around there. Let's see down at the bottom. Not hindering any of the speakers or the charging slot, microphone, headphone jack up at the top. So it looks good. It's just pretty plastic and flimsy case, I should say. Now let's go ahead and see what else is in the box. Of course, you have your AC adapter, and then you have your charging cable, which is USB to micro USB, actually. So no USB Type-C in this device. I'm assuming that's for cost reasons, which is pretty understandable if you want to keep costs down. And then in this, you have your quick start guide and user guide as well. All right, but let's grab the device. I'm actually going to take the case off for now, and let's check out some of the hardware. So it's made of glass. As you can see, a lot of reflection going on in the back. Down at the bottom here, it looks like you have two speaker grills. However, on the OnePlus 2, only one of them was in use. Looks like it has a screen protector on it as well. So that's pretty nice. It looks like they do give you options to protect the device. On the left side of here, you have, very similar to the OnePlus 2, that slider, alert slider, I believe they called it, for volume control. And then on the right side is where your volume rockers are on top of the power button. There's a little bit of texture as well to the side of the device. Vertical lines from the top down. Let's see if I can kind of get that in there. Hopefully you can see it. But scratching it, you can kind of feel the texture. And then you have your SIM slot. And then there's the top with the 3.5mm headphone jack. And then there is the bottom. All right, by the way, just kidding. It's a 5-inch display. Sorry about that if you guys caught me and already commented about it. It is a 5-inch display. Anyways, I'm actually going to skip through all of this just to kind of see. I doubt there's really anything out of the ordinary. All right, so we have OnePlus setup. I want to make note it has a Snapdragon 801 processor and 3 gigabytes of RAM as well, which is pretty awesome. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a good device. So you have a choice to use the software buttons, which show up down at the bottom, or hardware buttons, which are capacitive buttons that are down at the bottom. I'm just going to use the hardware buttons. Gestures, you have double tap to wake, open camera with an O, toggle flashlight, and then music control as well. So we're going to test those out once I get through this. Input methods, so you can use Swift key or Google keyboard. I'm going to go with Google keyboard for now. And then shelf, which was also introduced on the OnePlus 2. I'm going to enable that and show you guys that. So setup complete. Speaking of the OnePlus 2, I keep mentioning it. Here it is side by side. Of course, the display being a lot larger. The OnePlus 2, I believe, half an inch larger. So there's the back comparison. And it's all set up. Just one more little quick size comparison to give you guys an idea of bottom left corners lined up. All right, so here's the device. I'll boot it up. Swiping over to the left gives you that shelf, which actually kind of shows you about frequent apps, frequent contacts as well. You can edit that and change the header image. Out of the box, the OnePlus X runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, and they have a skin called Oxygen OS, which they have over the top, which is very similar to stock Android. However, there are some differences. One of them being it runs a dark theme right away out of the box, as you can tell by this settings menu, which is good because this is actually an AMOLED display, a 1080p AMOLED display. So that might help save battery using just those blacks because it doesn't have to turn on a light to show blacks. All right, let's get a little color going. Change the background right there. Going into the app drawer, let's see if there's any bloat. OnePlus Radio, which in my opinion wouldn't be bloat. You have SwiftKey keyboard pre-installed. Let's see if you can uninstall that. Looks like you can't. So I believe SwiftKey is the only thing that is bloat, which is okay with me. I actually really like SwiftKey. I recommend trying it out if you haven't tried it out. Now, down at the bottom of the device, if you can't tell, are 3 capacitive buttons. The home one, you have a back button, and a recent running apps button. You can actually change these buttons, so you'll see you have on-screen navigation bars, which you can use, and then you also can swap the buttons of recent and running apps. So this is now the recent apps button, and this is the back button. You also have certain actions on these specific buttons for long press and double tap. In settings, you have customization where you can turn off dark mode, and while in dark mode, you can actually change your accent color, which is a nice little added touch. Some more theming options. Turning off dark mode gives you more of a stock Android feel with that white screen, a little more gray in those toggles as well. And then you can change your LED notifications as well. Now, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned those gestures, so let's test them out with the screen off. V was flashlight, I believe. Yeah, and it turns on the flashlight right away. You can do it again to turn it off. A circle actually opened up the camera application. So here is that camera application, very similar to stock. Let's go ahead and press the button. Actually, this is the Oxygen OS camera application. So took a quick picture on the 13 megapixel camera. Looks pretty good, actually. Obviously, optimal lighting situation at the moment. Pressing the menu, you have clear image and HDR mode and beauty mode. Of course, I'll go into way more detail in my full review of this device, which should come pretty soon, so make sure you're subscribed. You have photo, slow motion, time-lapse, video, and panorama. Finally, like I said, you have that alert slider, so if we go ahead and press it to the middle, priority interruptions only, up to the top, no interruptions. Very easy. I actually really enjoyed this on the OnePlus 2. I don't think it's going to be any different on this device. And that would be my impressions of the OnePlus X. Excited to try this out as my daily driver. I will put my SIM in pretty soon. Lots more reviews coming soon, so make sure you're subscribed. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. All links in the description of the video below. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching.